Well, hello viewers. This is the desktop review of the KRISS Super V. This particular one is a registered short barrel rifle, and it's chambered in 45 ACP, as they all are. Comes in one caliber, 45 auto. Couple unique things about this gun. It's obviously a much different looking firearm than most you've ever seen. The KRISS Super V came out in about late 2007, 2008, and it has a very unique firing system. Normally obviously on a gun, everything is held on the lateral axis of the gun, so the movement of the bolt and all of the mechanical bits are always going to transition either fore or aft on this gun, or on normal guns. What makes the Super V unique is it has what's called the Super V recoil system. It's basically this area right here. And what it does is it takes the bolt, as the bolt begins to transition backward, the firing mechanism actually takes a 45-degree turn and recoils down into this assembly right here. And what that does is that it gives you a very low felt recoil impulse for a gun chambered in such a large caliber in 45 ACP. It has about the felt recoil. It actually has a little bit less felt recoil than a 9mm submachine gun. When they were testing this gun, they tested it against the H&K MP5, which obviously is probably the standard that all other guns are held to, and it held up as far as recoil and whatnot. It was lower recoil than the MP5. So really a cool gun, very unique looking gun, and I'm going to show it to you basically from muzzle to buttstock and give you a tour of mine. So first things first, let's go ahead and safety check the weapon. Cocking handle on the KRISS Super V is on the left hand side, and first detent, if you pull it straight out like that, if you pull the cocking handle out to 90 degrees, that's also a loaded chamber indicator. It allows you to look down here into the chamber and see if there is a round in the chamber. The other thing is obviously pull it straight back. It has a last round lock open, and the magazine release. We'll remove the magazine. So as you can see, empty magazine, empty breech, empty gun. So let's talk a little bit about this gun from front to rear. First things first, the KRISS Super V has, I believe it's a 5.5-inch barrel. It is a submachine gun barrel on the pistol version, which this started life as a pistol, and then filed the Form 1 and turned it into a short barrel rifle. The carbine version has a full-length barrel. It's actually a slightly different barrel. So if you are planning on turning yours into an SBR, I do recommend buying the pistol version first because of a couple things. Number one, it is properly threaded, and number two, it is the actual barrel that goes on the submachine gun version, so you'll get the same performance. This particular gun, I have got a Streamlight TLR-1 tactical light on there. It's an LED light, very high performance. It does have a strobe feature. Nice, high quality, lightweight, and not too expensive actually, a little over $100, I think $120 when I bought them, so very high quality. Some of the other features on this gun, you do have first of all, you have a 1913 rail at the 6 o'clock position. You also have the ability to add a rail on the 6 and 9 o'clock, or excuse me, on the 3 and the 9 o'clock position. However, I will tell you that only this side is the one that you would want to put the rail on. If you install a rail here, it will interfere with the cocking handle, and so that's just a heads up. Top of the weapon does have a full-length 1913 Picatinny rail, and you can mount just all sorts of optics and whatnot, and we'll go over that in just a second. So some of the controls are right here. This is your magazine release. This is your bolt hold open and bolt close. I'm going to go ahead and close the bolt here in just a second. The neat part about this, nice big flat controls, very easy to manipulate, and when you do insert a magazine back into it and go back into battery, everything falls right to hand, and you can push down on that and it'll slam the bolt home. very cool, very high performance. One of the other neat things about the KRISS Super V is that it takes, ta-da, Glock Magazines. This is a Glock magazine from a Glock Model 21. It fits perfectly in the gun, and that's so magazines are very available and also obviously good performance out of the Glock magazines. 13 rounds in that particular Glock magazine. Now you'll notice I also have this one here. This is actually a Korean-made Glock copy magazine. It holds 27 rounds of 45 ACP. Works great in the gun, not too expensive. KRISS also sells a kit in which you insert, it's actually a magazine sleeve that you insert a Glock magazine into, and it turns it into basically a 30-round magazine. They're extremely expensive, and frankly, I had one when I first bought this gun, and I ended up getting rid of it. These Korean-made Glock mags are of great quality. They operate perfectly, and of course, you've also got just your regular Glock magazines, so I kind of stuck with that. Back here you've got your trigger assembly. One thing that I do like is that there is actually a finger guard there, so when you are operating the gun, it keeps your control hand out. You can keep your finger outside the trigger guard. And one thing also to notice, you see that little hole right there? That's for a cable lock if you want to lock the Super V safely. This is your safe control, fire and safe control. It is ambidextrous. There's a lever on either side. Works pretty nice. On the select fire version, there's actually a second control right here that would control your burst feature and all that other stuff. But this particular one is just a semi-auto version. It's SBR. The Super V does have a folding stock, and it folds and clips in nicely. There's a little plastic detent right there. Very, very compact package when that is closed, and you can fire it. The gun will fire with the stock folded, although I haven't done it on this one, but it will do it. Stock is also removable. If you look right here, you'll see it's held in place with a push pin. You can just drive that pin out, and this stock will actually come off. And then when it does lock back into place, it locks in nice and tight. Stock is adjustable for length of pull. You just undo those, and this will move in and out. One thing that the weapon does not have a lot of is sling mounts. There's one here on the buttstock, and I installed this mag pull one here, but there is no sling mount on the front of it. So I've got a single point sling here, or I can sling it from there to the back. You've got pop-up sights. You've got backup iron sights on this gun. They are AR height, and they are AR basically look. They're the hooded, or not fully hooded, but they're the bladed front sights. Very good quality, all steel, and the back ones again very AR-ish. On this particular one, I've got an Aimpoint Micro on there. Fantastic optic. Let me see if I can get a view down there. Turn that up a little bit so you can see it. There you go. Nice bright optic. Co-witnesses beautifully with the backup iron sights, and if you want it just the optic, it's got a great, it has a very, very nice very nice sight picture as you operate it. So a little bit of talk about the KRISS Super V. First and foremost, it is a fantastic shooting gun. Because it's chambered in 45 ACP, I use this gun with my AAC Tyrant 45 suppressor. It is very, very quiet, especially when you're shooting. Obviously, almost all 45 ACP ammunition is subsonic, and so it's just a very, very quiet gun when it's suppressed. Very, very low felt recoil, and very very high cool factor on this thing. I get a lot of questions, a lot of looks. Whenever you go to the range with this thing, people are always wondering what in the world it is. This particular one is a very early model. I bought this gun back when they first entered the market. The newer version now has a different adapter butt plate back here that you can put an M4 style stock on there. I actually like the original KRISS one. Locks up nice, feels real good, and I do like that adjustable length of pull. Other than that, you've got a storage compartment here in the buttstock, so you can keep extra batteries and whatnot for your optic. This Super V, when it originally came out, was designed to be used with an EOTech holosight. I've had an EOTech on here. I just really like the Micro T1 because it's a little smaller, a little bit lighter, and it's just great performance for this gun. So anyway, that's pretty much the tour of the gun. I highly recommend one if you haven't shot one. Some of the early versions of this gun, there were some teething issues, like there always are with a new weapon system, but they've seemed to iron out. I've shot this gun pretty extensively. I've never had any malfunction issues with them like some people have had. I attribute that a lot to just using good high quality Glock magazines. And keeping the gun clean. And I did have, when I did first buy this, the gentleman that I bought it from, the gun shop that I bought it from down in Florida, did clean up the rails a little bit on the inside where the Super V system runs, and so maybe that helped. But anyway, overall, a fantastic gun. If you have any additional questions or comments or anything that I can do to answer for you, please let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And as always, please subscribe and let your friends know. We're trying to make some more videos here so that you can enjoy them. Thanks a bunch, and we'll see you next time.